2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the J&J Show. I'm JJ, he's Jacob. We've been through this a million times. You know, the sports world is definitely starting to pick up a little bit. We're getting into like the best time of the year. Baseball's in its playoffs, football's in full swing, and the most underrated sport in history is back. Hockey is back.
Let's go.
So, there are 3 teams in the tri-state area, and we have to cover all 3. We may be a little bit biased on this show, but at the end of the day, we're covering your teams, so be grateful. We got ourselves the New York Islanders, who is like, I guess you could call them little brother. They're really just like there. They're not really relevant. Our brothers down south, the New Jersey team that should not be mentioned, who may win the Stanley Cup this year. We'll see. And then you have the greatest hockey team on God's green earth, the motherfucking New York Rangers. So, what's been going on with all these other teams? Because the Rangers got themselves a nice 2-1 victory over the Coyotes on Monday night. What was it like at the home opener?
So far, obviously, I've been looking at the Islanders a little. I did go Saturday to their home opener. Don't ask why. It was a friend's birthday. Forced to go. Did root for the Sabres, though. And I also did let Shannon Hogan see my Rangers shirt. So, yeah, she's a Rangers fan now. But, yeah, the Islanders are 2-0. They did get a 1-0 win last night over the Coyotes, which I'm not that impressed. Whatever.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
They won a game.
Devils, on the other hand, how many games? I don't know. I forgot how many games.
I think 3 or 4 games. And they won the first game.
I know they've guaranteed played 3. So we're gonna stick with 3. And at the moment, they are 1-2. They did beat the Red Wings in their first game, but have lost to the Coyotes in a shootout. And then on Monday night, they lost to Florida at home. So they played 3 home games already, getting ready for a road trip. And so far, they have a losing record. And on the other hand, we have the New York Rangers, of course. No bias here, of course. Definitely not biased. Yeah. But the Rangers, 5-1, first game in Buffalo. Igor played great. Team played great. Second game against Columbus, a little bit of a rocky game. I don't know what happened there. I didn't watch it. But third game, Monday night against Arizona, the home opener I was in attendance. And they, to be honest with me,
you're a lucky piece of New York white trash that you got to go to the home opener. You're so lucky.
Hey. They, in my opinion, they look flat. They did not look good against Arizona. It was only a 2-1 win.
Well, granted, they had just came off a bad loss to the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, that is true.
Shout out my second favorite team, the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, same.
And then they had just lost. They had just played against a team that had beaten the New Jersey Devils. So I guess it's not that bad. So I mean, it is what it is. The Rangers took way too many penalties.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in my opinion, against on Monday, I don't know what in my opinion, I don't know what the rush was like because the unsportsmanlike to Lindgren, I don't even know where that came from. But MSU was rocking after the 2 penalties. The refs were getting a lot of slack for it. So, but besides that, MSU was amazing. It was loud. I can't wait for another Ranger season.
I can't wait either. Now, in terms of the Islanders and the Devils, I did a little bit of research when I filmed my show, The Game Clock, this morning, which is part of my school's morning announcements, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's fun to do. The Islanders and Devils play each other this Friday night at UBS Arena. I'm thinking the Devils are going to smoke them.
Yeah, I feel like the Devils, even though the Devils have a losing schedule, I mean, I feel like they're a way stronger team right now than the Islanders. But you never know what the Islanders. I mean, everyone's saying Sorokin. Yeah, Sorokin's good, but I mean, we're not gonna compare goalies.
We're not getting into this debate.
We're not gonna get into this debate. Maybe another time, but I mean, he's definitely one of the high power players on their team, and I feel like he kind of saves them. But besides that, if he's not on his game, then it's not going to be close.
Now, the other thing I gotta mention is he may or may not even be the best goalie in his own state, but we'll dive into that later. But you want to know something that is currently, like, as of right now, on top of the world,
What is that?
the National Football League. This week was absolutely bananas. I couldn't tell you what happened this week.
Yeah,
So,
crazy
starting
week.
it off, Thursday night, Kansas City Chiefs struggled in KC against the Broncos. That was bizarre. The
Yeah.
Ravens handled their business in London. Kind of expected that. Dolphins were down 14-0 at one point against the Panthers. Just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, but
the
you
Texans.
still even though it's a 14, it was like you still got Tyreek, bro. Like Tyreek,
That is true.
Mostert, even Waddle, Tua is on his game. It's a great time to be a Dolphins fan.
Shout out Raheem Mostert. Fantasy football. He is my fantasy football MVP by far.
I'm so glad I got Tyreek at the 6th pick. He probably should have been number 1, but
Must be nice. Saints, Texans handled their business as expected. Commanders, Falcons, Washington got a big bounce back win over that embarrassment against Chicago.
I mean, I want to say this. I
yeah.
want to say this on this Washington game is that the Falcons definitely could have won this game. Desmond Ridder, bro, like what was it?
You were awful.
4
Period.
picks, like
End of story.
that's unacceptable. And they had so many chances too.
Yes. Then we had the Jaguars beating up on the Colts like they do every single year in Jacksonville. Bengals did their thing against the Seahawks, and the Bears ended up beating the Vikings ended up beating the Bears 19-13. That game was just hot garbage. Like that was one of the most boring games. Now, if you look really closely, one of these scores here is blocked out, and you can't really tell what teams they are. Luckily for you, I have someone in here that's going to break this down. Ladies and gentlemen, the world's only Cleveland Browns fan in the tri-state area, Mr. Patrick O'Hara.
Yo.
So, tell me about this Niners-Browns game.
You know,
Talk to us.
definitely a dogfight. I mean, crappy weather conditions in Cleveland as always. I mean, Brock Purdy didn't do much. It was just an all-around great game for the best defense in the league.
I don't know if they're the best defense, but they're definitely up there. Question, what was up with all the stuff in pregame where they were like fighting on the sidelines?
See, I don't really know either. I mean that's been happening a lot though. Like,
Yeah.
I think Monday Night Football, there was a scuffle. Like, that's been happening a lot.
Is it with the Browns or is it with the 49ers or is it just in general?
I think it was just in general.
As soon as I saw like Deebo Samuel's like getting people's face, I'm like, oh my god, he's fucking doing this bullshit again.
I think it was Elijah Moore who started it all, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even see the scuffle.
So, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. The one thing that I feel like that makes me really happy about this, the 49ers lost the game. Hallelujah. Beautiful to see the 49ers finally drop a game that they should have. Raiders, Patriots, who cares? Both those teams absolutely reek. These games were a little bit of some snoozers. Pat, did you watch either of these late window games? Lions, Bucks, Rams, Cardinals?
I did. But I didn't really watch that much because they're very boring.
That's fair. The Lions game, the Lions just absolutely overpowered them. And then with the Rams-Cardinals game, this game had me sweating bullets in the first half because our offense couldn't do anything. Then all of a sudden, we turn on a dime in the second half, and then all of a sudden, we're scoring goals. We're scoring touchdowns. We're running the ball down their throat. We're playing efficiently. We're getting the milk dud Josh Dobbs. Shout out Elite Fantasy Football for the amazing nickname, Milk Dud, because that's what Josh Dobbs is, a total milk dud. But yeah, good win over the Cardinals, but that's kind of what you expected. Pat, I'm just going to warn you right now, there may be a trigger warning coming very soon when we get into these next games. But before we get into that, let's just start off on a positive note. How about the New York Jets?
Wow. That is a shocker in my opinion. That was a complete shocker. I mean, both undefeated teams have now lost the game. And
5-1.
I feel like the person to blame this game the most on is, in my opinion, is definitely Jalen Hurts. 3 interceptions. I mean, it was a complete turnaround in that fourth quarter.
Oh my god! And the thing that made it the worst, because Pat, our boys, when we were watching this game, our boy JQ was going crazy in that group chat that we're in. Because like, I'll tell you what. We have a friend who's a Seahawks fan. He doesn't really like root for any other teams besides the Seahawks, but he loves it when big plays happen. He doesn't care what team it's on, and he's always has the most over the top reactions I've ever seen.
Yeah, you
So,
get that.
he does. And when I saw when it was 14-12. By the way, shout out our boy Robbie Basil back in the second
Yeah.
episode, I think it was. We did our NFL picks. This man said Jets over Eagles. We all called him crazy. And I guess he knew something that we did not know. But anyway, 14-12 was the score. Eagles were up. You got to be thinking to yourself, Jalen Hurts, whatever you do not turn the ball over under any circumstances. And what does he do? Throws a pick to Tony Adams. Who the f is that guy? Seriously, who is Tony Adams?
The thing is, too, is that the Jets didn't even have Sauce or DJ Reed. So it's it was already a short-staffed Jets defense who, without those two corners, it was everyone thought like it was going to be like such a easy win for the Eagles. But Jets defense, Quinnen Williams, Mosley.
It was not. They were out. By the way, can we all just agree that was not an interception by Quinnen Williams? It was a good play. That was not an interception. That was a fumble.
I mean, did it touch the ground?
It should have.
But did it?
It ricocheted off a guy's head. That should not count against Jalen Hurts. Am I a little biased to Jalen Hurts? Maybe a little bit. But the point of the matter is a defensive lineman getting an interception 9 times out of 10 is not really an interception. But speaking of defense, there's a lot of defense in this next game. And we're going to start things off positive. The Giants shut out the Buffalo Bills for 3 quarters. Let the record show. The Giants held the Bills to 0 points for the first 3 quarters. Now, that being said, when you're up, what was it, 6-0 it was?
Yeah, 6-0.
With 10 seconds left, and you have the ball inside the 5-yard line with 14 seconds left and no timeouts, trigger warning. You can't run the ball. You have to pass it. Unless you're so confident you're going to score, you have to run or pass the ball. You can't run it. I don't care how good Saquon Barkley is. If you have no timeouts left, you're not going to be able to get another snap off. Tyrod Taylor was an idiot for this audible. He probably would have had somebody open in the flat. Or worst case scenario, you have to throw the ball away. Exactly. You have to throw the ball away with 3 seconds left, kick a field goal, you go up 9-0. And in that final drive, all you would have had to do is kick a field goal. And I'm just getting started. The Giants' pass rush in this game, atrocious. They couldn't get 1 sack on Josh Allen.
Listen. They were getting pressure. There were guys getting to Allen, but they just couldn't tackle him. That's the thing. They just couldn't wrap up and tackle.
My dad was losing his mind watching this game. I'll say that. And another thing is, shout out Micah McFadden. He had an incredible game.
God, Micah McFadden and Bobby Okereke. What a duo!
So it is Okereke. I thought it was.
I think you're gonna say the same thing as me. I've always said Okereke, but
I also said Okereke. That's what Pat McAfee taught me.
I've heard everyone say Okereke, so I might as well change it then.
Yeah, Pat, I'm sure you watched this game. What were your thoughts on the Giants' performance in the first 3 quarters of the game?
They had that first drive where they scored, and then
they didn't score. The Giants didn't score all night. They kicked the field goal.
Yeah, they kicked the field goal is what I meant. It was a very weird game. I thought the Bills would do more, but hey, man, Giants defense, I guess.
Listen, I'll say this. Do you want to know what casual fans would have thought this game was?
Blowout.
Boring. They would have thought this was boring. Because I'm not going to lie, Pat, I love defense. This was a defensive classic.
Yeah.
It was. If a game comes down to the very end, I don't care what the score is, it's automatically an instant classic. Now, I'm just going to call back to college for a minute. That Ohio State-Notre Dame game that haunts me to this day. That game was an instant classic. I don't care if the score was 17-14, 10-14. Oh, you expect them to score 35 points a game? That's not how football works. If a game comes down to the final play of the game, it's automatically a classic game. Period. Now, speaking of the last play of the game, that drive by Tyrod Taylor was clutch, and I can't deny it. But when you're in a situation, you get the one penalty call that you needed to put you onto the half-yard line. You come out under center, and you throw up a 50-50 ball to the tight end. You don't even come out in shotgun.
Personally, I thought it was holding or PI. I mean, I have pictures.
Yeah, here's the thing. The refs aren't going to call a penalty back-to-back plays in the last plays of the game. They're not going to do that. They're too scared to do that. And unfortunately, that's the reality.
I know. But, exactly. I mean, yeah, I don't know what the play call was. Like, just like, I feel like maybe if, the Bills have what? Was it? It's the best run defense in the league, right? I'm pretty sure they have or something like that. But, I mean, maybe even a toss to Saquon. Like, maybe if he had time to, like, just make a simple toss over, maybe that could have worked. But besides that, I don't even agree with what happened with that.
Yeah, that was brutal. Now, another trigger warning. When you're in a situation and you're on the half-yard line and there's no time left and you have a mobile quarterback, there is a play in the playbook that has a 92% chance of working. And for a minute, I'm going to save my voice, and I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, Jason.
4th and 1 on the goal line. What play are you running? I'm running. There's only one right answer.
There's only one right answer.
There's only one correct answer. And that's because it is the highest percentage chance of getting 1 yard. And that's quarterback sneak. Quarterback sneaking it? It blows my mind how many teams do not run a quarterback sneak with 1 goddamn yard. What the are you doing? It's a 92% chance. There's not a play in the playbook that has a higher percentage chance of working than quarterback sneak. Listen,
it's the truth. It is absolutely the truth. I don't care who you have. I don't care if you have Danny DeVito back there. One guy could push him up half a yard to get the game-winning touchdown. And if you do get the game-winning touchdown, I have to deal with the insufferability of the New York sports media for about a week. And, Pat, we have a friend who's a huge Giants fan. How miserable do you think he would have made us for just talking about the Giants for a week?
He would not have shut up. He would have said they're the best team in New York.
Absolutely. And by the way, they are far from it. The Bills and the Jets are both over them, in my personal opinion. And that pretty much does it for week 6. I'm shocked that my voice is still intact. So let's dive into, let me change our graphic really quick. Me and Jacob invented this thing. You obviously know the legendary show College Game Day. This is our own version of it. It's called J&J Game Day. Jacob, would you mind explaining the rules of J&J Game Day?
So the rules of J&J Game Day is we go through every NFL and college game, but we'll get to college later. And you pick who you think's going to win the game. Now, with our special twists for NFL, only NFL. This is coming from Fox, from the Fox pregame show, where when the Strahan's, Bradshaw's, Longs, and they do their picks, they have an upset and lock. So you get one upset, one lock, and if you get them both right, it's +1. Last contestant, Danny Erb, went 10-4 in his picks, and for the first time in show history, got 3 points on one game, which
one game
never seen before, and
he doubled down.
Yeah,
he absolutely doubled down. Now tell him what. Yeah. Now tell him what the all-time record is.
So the record at the moment that you have, the record to beat is 14-3 by JT from Cotta Media.
He went ballistic. Now, you and I talked about this before, and I'm gonna give you your special request. We're not just doing any pick'ems, my friend. We're covering some spreads, baby. We're switching it up. You asked for it. You're getting it. You wanted this, Pat.
I'm ready.
All right, first game, Jacksonville. And by the way, you can give an actual pick, but it's just going to show the spreads. That way we don't forget. So, Jacob, write down the pick, and if he gets it, well, we're not going to count the spreads. I just want to see how he does against the spread. But whatever team he picks, just write them down.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Jaguars and Saints on Thursday Night Football.
I got Saints.
You got the Saints minus 3.5.
Definitely.
I'm going to roll with the Jags on this one. I feel like the Jaguars are playing really good football as of right now. Saints are coming off a loss to Houston, and they haven't really been looking that sharp this year. So I'm going to give this one to the, as of right now, the hot Jacksonville Jaguars because their offense is very potent.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Jags also. Even though that Trevor Lawrence might be out, I still feel like them relying on ETN to do stuff. ETN is so amazing. I feel like he'll still have an amazing game.
So next game, we got the Raiders and, wait for it, the Bears. The Bears. All right. The Raiders and the Bears. Who do we got?
I mean,
This one, Pat.
I feel like for me, it's gonna obviously be the Raiders because who do the Bears have anymore? They don't have Herbert. They don't have Fields. DJ Moore's not gonna get used with freaking what's this guy's name? Bajan. I don't know how to say his name, but he's no way he's gonna be used with he'll be incorporated into anything. So give me
who are you referring to?
the Bears. What's their backup's name?
Pat, you probably know who it is,
I
right?
think
The
Badge
Bears
Key or
backup.
something like that.
Something
Something
like
weird.
that, yeah. Expect a breakout game from Roshan Johnson. Is what I'm thinking.
If he even has line to hold him.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a solid. He's gonna have a solid game. I think Bears will cover plus 3.5, and I'm going with the Bears. All right, I got the Bears. All right, Pat, your Cleveland Browns are playing the Indianapolis Colts this week. Give me your thoughts on it.
I'm a little biased, but I got to go Browns. Coming off that game, winning versus the 49ers, I think we could definitely beat the Colts.
What do you think's what's gonna have to factor into you guys winning this game on the road?
I don't think Deshaun Watson's gonna be back, so it all rides on PJ Walker.
Hey, you beat the 49ers.
He did
Anything
beat the
possible.
49ers, and he looked good.
You look great.
So I'm definitely.
You also got, you got the Browns. I think that Jerome Ford's gonna have himself a really good game. I'm still heartbroken. There's no Nick Chubb. I think the Browns defense definitely gonna step up. I don't think Gardner Minshew's got what it takes. So give me the Browns minus 2.5 and the Browns money line.
Yeah, I'm going Browns also. It's like the Colts don't have AR anymore, so besides that, they got no one really. Besides
All right,
Taylor.
next up. This game is going to be a murder. The Bills and the Patriots. I don't know why.
There's really not much to say with this game. The Bills lucky to even come out with that game against the Giants. And they were lucky to come out with that, but I feel like I don't see that happening again. So I'm going to go with the Bills.
You're going to go with the Buffalo Bills? I'm also going to roll with the Buffalo Bills.
And I'm going to I'm just going to say this. I'm making the Bills my lock.
Interesting. However, I'm going with the Patriots plus 8.5, but Bills to win. Pat's 8.5.
I gotta go.
You don't have to write the spreads down.
Yeah,
I'm writing the teams. At this point, the spreads are just for decoration. Because why not? All right. 70% of people have picked the Washington Commanders to beat the Giants. Jacob, give us your thoughts on this game.
I feel like this is the first. This is the part where this Giants schedule gets it's not going to be as crazy as the Bills, the Niners, they're not the Eagles, the Cowboys. Who else? That's it basically. Or Dolphins. Yeah, I forgot the Dolphins. But I feel like this could be a game the Giants can win. So I'm going with the Giants here.
Gonna go with the Giants. I feel like the Giants they're just clawing and they're getting closer and closer. I am hearing reports that Daniel Jones will most likely play this game.
Yeah, today was his first practice back. They said he hasn't been cleared for contact, but I'm pretty sure he'll be cleared tomorrow. I'm pretty sure.
He does have himself a really good run against the Commanders. So with that being said, give me the New York Football Giants as my upset of the week.
I'm also taking the Giants with my upset.
All right, so here's the issue with that, Pat. When one person takes a team for an upset or a lock, it's gone.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to pick a different one. But
What
it's
do you
all right,
mean?
you'll get that.
What do you mean? You picked upset. You and Herb picked Steelers for upset last week.
Well, he doubled down, so we let that one slide.
I mean,
Besides,
if
there's
it's
gonna be.
I'm letting this slide.
Listen, there's going to be more upsets. It's the NFL. The NFL is a wacky place. If there is no other upset, I'll just give you the Giants. All right. Falcons and the Buccaneers. I got to roll with Tampa, man. The Falcons just don't play well on the road, and it shows. And Tampa's definitely looking to come up with a bounce-back win. Expect this game to be low-scoring, but I got Tampa Bay by a field goal, so they will cover -2.5.
Let's see. I mean, the Bucks. Let's see. They started out well. They're now what? What's the record now? 3-2. Or are they 500?
They are 3-2.
They're 3-2. All right. So they've had their bye, and they still got. I feel like they're still decent. I mean, they had to play a tough Lions team. That's the only reason I feel like they lost last week. So I'm gonna also ride with the Bucks here.
You're right with the Bucks. All right. I'm not gonna lie, Pat. I've already changed my upset pick after seeing this next game. We got the Lions and the Browns. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, but the Lions are an underdog, and the Lions are an absolute wagon. Damn it, they're a top 5 team in the league. Give me the Lions as my upset of the week.
Yeah. All right.
What do you got, Pat? Your former team, the Baltimore Ravens, or the Detroit Lions?
Probably the Ravens winning this one. I'm not gonna lie. Ravens home games are tough.
They are tough, but have the Ravens really played anybody good though?
I mean, let's see. They played. Who did they play week 1? I mean, they lost.
They lost to the Colts, and their losses were to the Colts and the Steelers, so not the greatest losses. They did go into Cincinnati and win. They went to Cleveland and kicked your ass. That game must have sucked. So, yeah, I'm giving it to the Lions. I just think the Lions are an absolute wagon. I think Goff is unreal. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's playing out of his mind. And I think finally, we will get to see Jahmyr Gibbs in action with David Montgomery going to be out for the next couple of weeks.
This is the reason that Jahmyr Gibbs was drafted, I feel like. So
Absolutely.
They said let's see, Dan Campbell before the season started said that Jahmyr Gibbs was going to be used in ways fans didn't see it. He said the same way for Laporta, that Laporta was going to be used. Look how great Laporta's been.
Laporta's been unreal.
Yeah, so I feel like it's going to be the same way with Gibbs.
He honestly might be my pick for tight end of the year so far.
Yeah.
So next game on our list, the Steelers and the Rams. All right, time to dive into this one. We are without a running back. The Rams are going to be running a 4 running back set potentially this weekend. They are as follows. Zach Evans, rookie out of Ole Miss. Former Denver Broncos running back in random Royce Freeman. I doubt any of you remember him. Pat probably does because he's an NFL geek. Do you remember Royce Freeman?
Yeah, and I think he spent some time on the Texans too.
Of course he did. Darrell Henderson Jr. is back on the Rams. I'm very happy about that. Hopefully we can factor him in. And finally, Myles Gaskin is a Los Angeles Ram. And with how potent that the offense has been for this team, I do think the Rams are going to pull this one out. And Pat, I can't wait to show you June wearing a Los Angeles Rams jersey when he loses the bet this weekend. So let me let you, the fans, know about this bet. He's a Steeler fan. I'm a Ram fan. We made a bet yesterday at practice. The loser has to wear the winner's jersey on Monday to the next practice. So I'm either wearing a Najee Harris jersey or he's wearing a Cooper Kupp jersey. And that picture of the Najee Harris jersey, if I lose, will be posted. So y'all can flame me all you want if we lose. But anyways, I think that this is a very interesting game for the Rams. The offensive line does have me concerned with how good the Steelers' defensive line is. And I know one thing is for sure. It's going to be a Steeler invasion. There's going to be so many Steeler fans at SoFi Stadium. I just know it already. There's no point in manifesting it because it's gonna happen. But that being said, I would be dumb if I didn't pick my team 2 weeks in a row. Horns up, baby. Give me the Rams to cover -3.5 and get the win.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna agree with this one. I'm gonna go with the Rams also because
Yes,
even
sir.
though with no running backs, you still got Puka. Even though he's not being used as much as he was the first weeks of the season, Cup still strong as can be. So I mean that those two, I feel like that's all you need right now.
I
I
agree
think
with
it's
that.
the Steelers week.
Oh, you scumbag. Taking the
Who's
piss.
blocking Highsmith and TJ Watt?
But who's gonna stop their what are they gonna do on offense? I mean, really.
Sure.
They have Matt Canada. Listen, my second favorite team obviously I love the New York Giants as much as I love the Rams, but which doesn't make sense because I clown the Giants all the time. That's because it's funny how the Giants fans react. It's very, very funny. But anyways, the reason why I think the Rams will win this game, I want them to win this game by 50 so that Matt Canada gets fired. I want to beat the Steelers so bad Canada gets fired. That way they can actually look like a good team. But I think the Steelers will fall at 3-3. Originally, I had the Steelers 5-0 going into this game, losing to us. But I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. Cardinals and Seahawks. Oh, boy. Seahawks by murder, and if the Cardinals play Kyler, they're absolute morons because he is a bum.
Yeah, it should be an easy one for Seattle.
I'm gonna go different here. I'm taking the Cardinals.
Whoa! Plus 7.5 for money line.
Money line, why not?
Oh, man. That is an iffy pick, my friend. Very iffy pick. All right, next up, we got the Packers and the Broncos. I don't need to see anything else. Give me the Packers as my lock of the week. They're going to be banging the drum another week at Lambeau Field. Give me the Packers.
I'm pretty sure this game's in Denver, but all right.
It is in Denver, but I got to go with the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going Packers also.
I'm going Broncos.
Go with the Pat, dude. What's gotten into you, man?
Broncos at home. I don't think Jordan Love has not looked good at all.
I mean, that's not terribly wrong.
Well, yeah, but he's not been bad.
Yeah, but he's not been terrible all year.
Pretty sure didn't he throw 3 interceptions last week?
Well, they didn't play last week. They had a bye,
Or
but
2 weeks ago. He threw 3 picks in his last game, I'm pretty sure.
Wouldn't be surprised.
against the Raiders, yeah, probably. But anyway, I think he is due for a bounce back, and there's no better way to do it than against the lowly Broncos team. So I'm going with the Packers. Dude. Give the Cheeseheads my lock. All right, Chargers and the Chiefs. Sorry, I saw the Eagles. All right, Chargers and the Chiefs. I gotta go with KC on this one, man. The Chargers are gonna charge her. The Chargers literally have paid actors as fans. Please tell me you saw what the NFL did with that one league.
Yeah.
Bro, I saw those robots. I thought they were robots. They're real people. That's creepy.
Did you see
Legit.
the most recent thing that they did?
Yeah. I didn't even think. I thought that was a fan. No shot. That's an actor, bro. If that's an actor,
That's an actor.
How?
I could tell just by her reaction.
Bro, there's no shot.
She's all jumping up and down and shit. I knew it was fake immediately.
There was no shot that I don't know if she just went or the Chargers paid her for reactions. If they paid her for reactions, that's so stupid.
The Chargers are a poverty franchise, so I'm not totally surprised. Just by looking at this, as soon as I saw the first picture, I'm like, okay, yeah, that is definitely not a real person. It says viral Chargers fan denies being paid actor AI fan. I'm just passionate. Yeah,
I'm just
no,
passionate.
you're a paid actor. The Chargers are always, like I say all the time, the Chargers are always gonna charge her. So I'm going with the Chiefs on this one.
All right.
Patrick.
Give me the Chiefs as my lock of the week.
All right, there it is.
There it is.
Jacob, who's your lock of the week or the upset if you have any?
Lock of the week is I haven't picked my upset yet, but it might be for this next game, whoever the underdog is. My lock of the week's the Bills.
This one's gonna get good. Finally, a good primetime game. Hopefully. We said that about Cowboys 49ers, and we all know what happened.
Yeah, watch this one be a stinker, bro.
Oh my God, imagine. Dolphins, Eagles. Oh man, this game is going to be crazy.
I'm gonna
I
say
feel
this
like
now. I'm gonna say this now. I don't think like you can classify a primetime game as a stinker with the score. I mean, I feel like this game is gonna, no matter what the score is, even if it's a blowout, it's still gonna be a great primetime game because of all the star power we have in this game. We got Tua, Hurts, Waddle, Tyreek, and it would have been Ramsey if he still
AJ
played.
Brown, Darius Slay,
Yeah,
potentially
AJ Brown.
Jalen Ramsey, Jalen Phillips, Jalen Carter, all these star players.
Yeah.
So in this one, I think that Jets game, I feel like it's going to depend on who's inactive for Philadelphia. Like if Lane Johnson's out long term, they're fucked.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard he's out 3 to 4, but I have not seen. Like my friend told me he's out.
Oh, that's
My
not
friend-
good for them.
My friend told me he was out 3 to 4, but when I looked that up, I did not see a single thing about that. So I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't.
I'm
But
checking the injury report right now for this.
I know
It
that
says
I know some. I saw the injury report for the Eagles. I know there were a lot of limited practices.
But with
the-
that being
them-
said,
before
it's so hard
before-
to win there.
I just want to say one thing before we go on. Can we just quickly talk about for a quick minute? Like, what are our quick thoughts on this Julio Jones signing?
I truly believe that he's going to return to form. I truly believe that because how many veterans did the Eagles house last year that turned back into their superstar form?
Yeah, that's
Robert Quinn, Linval Joseph, James Bradbury. Who else did they sign that were veterans? They signed a lot of people.
Oh, they signed a Ndamukong Suh.
Ndamukong Suh, he played really well when he was an Eagle. All these guys played really well as Eagles,
Yeah.
coming off of their veteran years. And it's so hard to win in Philadelphia. So give me the Birds.
Who's the favorite in this one?
Miami.
Really? Oh my god. I mean, I was gonna use my upset on the Dolphins, but now since they're freaking the favorite, all right, I'm gonna go with the Birds for my upset, but I want the Dolphins to win.
The Birds are the favorite. You can't pick them.
The fuck you just said Miami?
No, the Eagles.
All right, well then I'm going Miami as my upset.
All right, Monday Night Football. Niners, Vikings. Jesus
Hold on, who is
Christ.
Pat picking for the game? Who's Pat picking for this game?
I'm taking the Dolphins in that one.
All right, there it is.
Pat is one of the biggest Jalen Hurts. Wait, are you one of the Hurts haters or are you one of the defenders? Because the group chat is split 50-50 whether they like Hurts or not.
I'm a defender. He won me the league last year.
And he won me one, and he got me to the playoffs in another league. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this out here right now. Patrick O'Hara was doing some pretty shady stuff with Jalen Hurts last year. He had one. Pat, would you mind telling them the name you had for your team with Jalen Hurts last year?
I don't think that's appropriate for this setting.
Jacob, I'll tell you after. But Pat was doing some shady stuff. Let's just say that it caused one of our boys to have an absolute aneurysm. He almost killed Pat for that.
I mean, someone's got hurt in one of my league, and they made their team name like Who's Got Live Sports, and it's all right.
That's dumb. Pat's name was better. Anywho, moving on. Niners, Vikings. This game's going to be a bloodbath. The Niners are going to kill them.
Unless T Swift's in freaking Minnesota, then yeah, they ain't.
If the Vikings win this game, though, I'm throwing a party and everyone's invited.
Yeah, I got the Niners too.
Of course you do. All right, what do we got, Jacob?
I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't have the Niners? Who cares
Yeah.
if they're coming off an L?
Very
Okay.
fair point.
Who's-
You gotta go the Niners?
Yeah, who's gonna go against the Niners?
Very good point. All right. So that about does it. Oh, come on. I do this every time. All right, so that about does it for our NFL pick'em of the week. Next up on the agenda, the college football recap. This week was it was underwhelming in my personal opinion, except for one thing and one thing only. There was one thing that I was truly happy about as a college football fan, and I think you could probably take a guess what that was.
What?
This was fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. There it is. Once again, it was beautiful. So that about does it. Like, other than that, it was like a underwhelming. Ohio State would do what no one expected. Tyler Trent, unfortunately, to make Ohio State lose the game, which would have been pretty cool if he was there. Unfortunately, that was not the case. What else do we have? We had Florida getting the big upset win in South Carolina. The Oregon Ducks faced off against Washington. That game was an absolute heartbreaker. I don't know if y'all watched that game, but that game was crazy.
I mean, Michael Penix is a beast. I think he's my Heisman winner in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. MPJ. What do you think about Pat? MPJ.
I agree with that. I think Caleb Williams. How many interceptions did he throw? 2 or 3?
Three interceptions and 5 turnovers against Notre Dame.
Yeah, he lost the Heisman that game.
I saw on social media someone made a video about the USC game, and they had Caleb Williams' face, and then it evaded into Dak Prescott. An absolute perfect picture to sum up that game.
Imagine he goes to the Cowboys. And Giant fans want Caleb Williams, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. I'll gladly pass.
He wants Danny Dumpster Fire over Caleb Williams.
Well, I'd rather have. If it's gonna be like that, then no. Daniel can run a little, but yeah. I'm gonna just say 2 guys. I would rather have Drake May at this point over Caleb.
Phenomenal. North Carolina is still undefeated, by the way.
Yeah, and I don't know how Penix would do in the NFL, but if he's like his college form, then yeah, I'll take him in a heartbeat.
He could honestly turn into Zach Wilson because all these guys that go to these smaller schools, like we all know what Zach Wilson did when he was at BYU. We all know what Bailey Zappi did at Western Kentucky. But at the end of the day, though, it is a Pac-12 school, and that is hard to ignore. So I think Penix would do just fine. Bozo move by the Hoosiers for letting him go. But now, speaking of bozos, there were a lot of bozos in college football this week. And also, bozo move to whoever has the audacity to not put Michigan as the #1 team in the country. What more do they have to do? Tell me. What does Michigan have to do to put them at #1 in the country?
First of all, I know that Georgia started off rough against Vandy, but, still. They still came back. They still came back from their rough spot, and they turned it into a blowout.
Yeah.
Michigan also. We can say the same thing about Michigan. I don't care if they won 52-7. They also started off rough.
Don't they always start off flat though? That's what every Big Ten team does. They always start off.
If we're talking about jumping this week, I feel like people. The FPI power rankings for ESPN's got Ohio State at #1.
FPI is the worst power rankings in all of sports, and it shows every week.
If we're talking about teams that didn't have a rough start this week, then Ohio State did not start off rough.
That is a fair point. But looking at this poll, I'm just gonna rifle off a couple of bozos on here. First of all, Louisville, go f*** yourself. You sell your soul to knock my Fighting Irish out of the playoffs, and then you lose to Pittsburgh. 1-4 Pittsburgh. Shame on you. Next bozo on the list. Number 2 bozo. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You put up that crappy of an effort against Louisville, but just stomp SC. By the way, SC number 3 bozo. Giving up 48 points to Notre Dame. Absolutely ridiculous. And the other bozos on my list, really, Texas A&M. You have the number 1 recruiting class again, and you're going to probably finish under 500 again. If Jimbo Fisher does not go at least 9-3 next year, get his ass out the door. Period. That's really all I got for bozos. And obviously,
Wait. Didn't we forget one? Or was this last week? I think I'm pretty sure it was this week. Number 5.
University of Miami. You guys fucking suck.
Okay, not who I was thinking, but okay. Anyways, if that's number 5, the number 6 bozo, I'm pretty sure this week. The University of Fraudulent Colorado.
Oh, yes.
The
Yes,
University of Colorado.
Yes.
And Dion, who? 29-0 lead, and you lose to the Stanford freaking Cardinal. I believe that's their team. Yeah, the Cardinal.
In Boulder.
In
Alec
Boulder.
Alec Iomanner, I believe is the guy's name.
Sheesh, bro.
Oh, and on top of that, how about them Colorado State Rams? Down 20 points with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, pulling off a miraculous comeback.
Yeah, that Hail Mary. Oh
My God, that was insane.
Yeah.
Also, bozo move by FIU. They're about to lose to Sam Houston. It's 17-17.
Jeez.
Bozos.
You're screaming so loud I can hear you down the street.
Sorry. Anywho, so that about does it for our college football recap of the week and our AP Top 25 poll. My only issue for this is put Michigan number 1. And also, you know how I said at the start of the year that North Carolina is going to win the ACC? I truly believe they'll beat FSU. I really do. I think FSU is going down sooner than later. But anyways, let's get on to our picks for the week. Now, the first game on tap is the UCLA Bruins against the Stanford Cardinal. Now, Stanford is coming off a huge comeback win against Colorado. They are hosting UCLA. UCLA is a decent team. They were ranked prior to, but I mean, I feel like UCLA is going to handle their business, but definitely expect Stanford to cover in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Stanford recreating what they did last week.
What do we got here, Pat?
I definitely got UCLA. And I'm looking at taking
UCLA.
UCLA spread too.
UCLA spread. All right. Next up, we have the Clemson Tigers against the Miami Hurricanes, a.k.a. the biggest bozos in all of college football, for losing that game to Georgia Tech. By the way, was that the worst loss in college football history? Possibly, because that was awful. And my dad's a Miami Hurricanes fan. His reaction was absolutely priceless. Jacob, Clemson or Miami?
Clemson easily.
I think Clemson at -3 is an absolute lock. I think Clemson destroys them.
I got Miami.
Really?
Yes.
Why Miami?
I just think Dabo Swinney is not a great coach anymore. I think he lost it.
Well, I agree, but I don't think Tyler Van Dyke's are gonna have that crazy of a game. But that's your prerogative. Next up, we have ourselves an old-fashioned rivalry game, Battle of the Paul Bunyan Trophy, Michigan versus Michigan State. Now, we all know how crazy these games get. Can we agree on that? These games get absolutely wild.
These games do get absolutely wild. No matter
that being said,
that being said,
MSU is atrocious. Like, absolutely terrible. Like, maybe one of, if not the worst teams in the country. So I would not get your hopes up on this one at all. I'm going with Michigan to cover minus 24 and pick up the win.
I mean, here's the thing though, is that even though people feel like I feel like it's the same thing with Purdue, Ohio State. People are saying usually like last time it was Purdue destroying Ohio State when Ohio State was ranked 2. I'm gonna say this. I feel like it's the same thing. Michigan,
Really?
high. What happened last time? Michigan State at home with the dub. So, no hate to Michigan or UGans, but I feel like this situation, history repeats itself.
You're kidding.
No,
You did
I'm
not just pick Michigan State to beat the number 2 team in the country.
I mean, it probably won't happen, but I mean, if I feel like history can repeat itself here.
Tell me you're an Ohio State fan without actually telling me you're an Ohio State fan.
I'm not trying to be biased or why, because I was saying before this Purdue game that we were going to get killed. I kept saying it. Purdue's going to kill us. Purdue's going to kill us. Yeah, and I was wrong. But I feel like in this situation, Michigan State repeats itself.
Did you forget that Tyler Trent is no longer with us, sadly?
No.
As much of a legend as he is, he wasn't coming down from heaven to grace up Purdue. Let's just make that very, very clear. So with all that being said, in that situation, I'm going with the Spartans. Or not the Spartans, sorry, the Wolverines.
I got Michigan, and I got MSU covering.
MSU covering? All right. That's fair. There's your own prerogative. I will not judge you on it. Next game, we have Duke and FSU. Now, if Riley Leonard was playing, I feel like I'd have much more optimism for this game. I've preached for a long time that FSU's L is coming, and it is. However, I don't see a winless or a Riley Leonard-less Duke team beating Florida State in Tallahassee. Easier said than done. Give me FSU, but Duke covers.
Yeah,
I got it.
I'm still saying give me FSU.
You're gonna go with them as well.
Yeah, I'm going.
You got FSU on this one. All right, that is an interesting pick by you. All right, next game. Pat, been waiting for this one, my friend. The Army Black Knights taking on the LSU Tigers.
Honestly,
I know
Number
you
4.
wish this game. I know you wish this game was at West Point.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like tickets would be sold out instantly though.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Army's going to cover.
I mean, while we were doing the show earlier, I got a notification. Shout out to LSU. They're gonna have camouflage end zones to, I guess, commemorate Army, and it's gonna be on. Like, this is one of those games where it's like, here, just put this on the schedule so the schedule looks cool or the game looks cool, whatever. But I feel like LSU's gonna absolute, literally destroy Army.
I disagree with that completely. Let me state my case. The last time Oklahoma played against a top 25 team, I believe was against Oklahoma, and I believe it was 2018. Oklahoma was the number 5 team in the country. Army went to overtime with them. Give me LSU by a field goal.
By a field goal?
Army's going to keep it very close.
I think Army covers, but I think it's like by like 4 touchdowns.
Whatever you say, LSU kid. All right. Next game on the tap. TCU versus K-State. The rematch of the Big 12 championship last year, which thankfully will not be the Big 12 championship this year, as it will be Oklahoma, Texas.
I mean, I'm gonna just say this now. It's so unfortunate that I doubt this game's going to live up to the exact same as it was last year in the championship, with no Duggan, Vaughn, or even K-State's guys. But TCU, what was that? They came in for a loss last time we did picks to Iowa State.
That's correct. That was a bad loss too. That was a really bad loss.
I just feel like they're not carrying any momentum, so I'm gonna go K-State.
K-State. Yeah, I gotta roll with Will Howard and the boys. Give me Kansas State.
I got Kansas State too.
And I'm gonna take K-State minus 6.5. Next game on tap, we have the Utah Utes against the University of Selfless Condoms, the Trojans. Condom University against the Mormons. Now that would be an interesting conflict. What do you think about that, Pat? The condoms versus the Mormons.
I got the Trojans covering the -7. I don't think Caleb Williams has 2 bad games in a row.
I still gotta give this one. I'm rolling with Utah. They have not lost to USC in a while, and USC's defense is atrocious. By the way, Sam Houston kick the field goal, and now FIU can try to tie the game with 20 seconds left. I'm just letting you know because I'm keeping track of that game because I do want to see Sam Houston get their first win, but not against godforsaken Florida International. That is my mom's college. She would not be happy watching this. But anyway. Also, it looks like the New York Liberty might lose the finals tonight, sadly. It's a shame for New York. But with all that being said, I got to go with the Mormons. Give me Utah.
Yeah, I'm going Utah also. I mean, USC.
Yeah, I agree. Next game on tap. Appalachian State against Old Dominion. This is going to be a banger of a game, in my opinion. I'm going with Appalachian State on the road in this one.
I agree. Give me App State.
Yeah, that's going to be a clean sweep. I mean, if they can do it against A&M last year at Kyle Field, then they can do it. They can do it anywhere.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. All right. Next game on tap, we got the Texas Longhorns versus the Houston Cougars. Now, as everybody knows, Houston pulled off an absolutely miraculous win. Oh my God, I think, FIU tied it with 5 seconds left. 20 apiece. Anywho, Texas and Houston, these guys had themselves this is an interesting one because Houston is coming off a miraculous comeback win against West Virginia, which I assume you guys watched because that game was insane. Did you see that one, Pat?
I did.
Crazy.
A clip of it at least, because Houston won off a Hail Mary.
I think
After West Virginia had scored. What? You saw a clip?
Yes, I think I saw the Hail Mary clip.
I did too. Now moving on, I gotta go with the Longhorns, and but I got Houston covering. I think it's gonna be like a 10-point game, to be honest.
Texas also, Pat?
I got Texas covering the spread. Yeah, I got Texas winning though.
Texas and covering. All right. Next up, we got Tennessee. Wait, what the hell? Here we go. Tennessee and Alabama. 2 underperforming teams going head-to-head. What do we think about this one, ladies and gentlemen?
Give me Tennessee.
I mean, last year this game was an amazing game, but it's like I was saying earlier for some other games, there's like literally like no hype at this game anymore as there was last time. I mean, but where is this, Tuscaloosa?
It is in Tuscaloosa,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take Bama.
You go with Alabama. I think that Alabama played themselves a very good last couple of games against Arkansas and A&M. I think this Tennessee team has got to outmatch, and I feel like Alabama. I think Milroe's got himself a really solid game for the Tide. So give me Alabama, but Tennessee covers 8.5.
I like Bama, but I don't love Milroe. I gotta go
fair.
Tennessee. Milrow is like so mid.
Milrow is definitely an inconsistent quarterback. All right. So that about does it for our college football picks. We really don't have that much. We really don't have anything left. So actually, wait a minute. I think we forgot one. Our game of the week. The Ohio State Buckeyes and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Boys, make your picks.
I got Ohio State.
There we go. That's all.
You kind of gotta provide an explanation.
I'm not a huge Penn State fan. I think they've looked solid, but I think they're getting their first loss versus Ohio State. It's tough to match up with a team like Ohio State, honestly.
I mean, there's really no explanation for this. I mean, JJ already knows what I've got in my hand. There's really no explanation for this. I mean, there's no reason I should even go into this. It's gonna be Ohio State and Ohio State only. Ohio versus the world, baby.
That may be one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard. I hate that so much. Ryan Day, you're an absolute piece of garbage. Man calls out an 88-year-old Lou Holtz. Like, what did the poor geezer do to you? Now, when I look at this game, I see two very competent teams. I see the Ohio State Buckeyes on one end who have dominated a lot. They've played good football. Then I look at Penn State. Penn State's dominated almost every team they played, except for Northwestern. However, I will say this. At the start of the season, I did have Ohio State winning this game because it is in Ohio Stadium at the Shoe. But after seeing Penn State play these last few games, I may have to switch my pick. I'm not 100% on it yet. But and it's official. The Las Vegas Aces are back-to-back WNBA champions.
I mean, that sucks for New York. I really don't think so.
No one really gives a shit. But anyways, on to my pick. I feel like these teams it's gonna be a very high-scoring game. I'm very angry that this game is not on at 7 p.m. like it should be. It should be.
Yeah. I just want to say something like that. I just want to talk about that for a second. All right. So, how are you going to put with Ohio State, Penn State at noon, on Big Noon? But it's the game day game where the game day will be in Columbus. You have Ohio State versus Wisconsin at night. That does not make sense at all.
Is it in Wisconsin?
No.
Oh, God. If it was in Wisconsin, I'd understand why.
Wait. Never mind. It is. My bad.
That's why. Camp Randall in Wisconsin, Camp Randall Stadium is bananas at night. It's number 3 versus, what is it, number 5, I believe it is?
I think
Or
7.
number 7? 7. Now, the last time that Ohio State won a top 10 game on the road has not been since 1994. But with all that being said, it's time for that to change. My pick will be the Penn State Nittany Lions in an upset.
Yeah, that
It's
was
Drew Aller time. I said it on the joke. I said it on the first episode. And I honestly, if they win this game, I'm sticking with my gut that Penn State wins the Big Ten. However,
okay,
if they
all
lose
right.
this
You
game,
did not say that. You did not say they were winning the Big Ten.
I flipped my pick to Michigan. But I did originally say it would be the boys from Happy Valley.
I mean, yeah, and then Robbie said he loved the pick, and then you go, oh, yeah, I'm not picking them.
Forget about it. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It all depends on if Penn State can win this game. I do have them already beating Michigan, so that would make them 12-0 in conference play. So that would easily give them the Big Ten in my eyes. But, yeah, that pretty much does it. Pat, thanks for hopping on, man. It was a blast. I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as we enjoyed having you.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, we will let you know about how you do on the picks on the very next show, which will be next week. You'll either be praised or flamed. There is no in between.
All right, bet.
All right, thanks for hopping on, Pat. It's good having you.
Thank you.
All right, 13 episodes in the books, Jacob.
Baker's
It's crazy.
dozen is in the book. That's crazy. We like to thank everyone for the support we're getting. Obviously, follow all the socials.
Take a look
How's
at
that?
my socials. Oh, breaking news. I will be posting weekly NFL recaps on our Instagram and potentially our
Yes,
Twitter.
J&J Show Instagram will be now having weekly recaps produced by JJ himself.
And I work very hard on them. It takes me about 30, 40 seconds for each. They are fun to do.
I mean,
though.
yeah. If you guys also if you guys follow the Instagram and you like see and you guys think there's for your favorite team, if you think there's a better song choice, then yeah, let us know and
Please let me know. I
maybe
need new songs for some teams.
maybe JJ will change it.
Yeah, we'll see. And if you got any funny moments from the podcast, hit us up and let us know. And we'll probably post we'll be taking requests from you guys of like some funny moments from these pods. And let us know if you want to be a guest picker for next week's episode. Because I'll tell you what, Jacob, I don't know if anyone's catching JT.
Yeah, I mean that was just amazing.
That was mad.
14-3. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As for Jacob, I'm JJ Seggs. You knew that already.
And
Stay
always
blessed.
instead of JJ saying this, I'm just gonna say this now. I'm sorry to say this, Slice. If you're watching, my friend, he's a Cowboys fan. It's not the Cowboys year. I'm sorry to say it's not. Anyway, see y'all next time. Peace out.
Have a good